Alrighty, welcome back to Hoopatheticals. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Jez FM, your host, and the voice of the Coburg Giants. I keep forgetting to mention that, but Coburg basketball team. If you're locked in to local Victorian basketball, you'll know this voice pretty well. And I'm joined by my friend, Hot Take Machine, Tom Nixon. What's up, my friend?
It's good to see you, mate. And I'll just turn on the old... Whoop!
Oh.
What's that?
Mates.
What's that?
So for those... Hold on.
Whoa! Sizzling.
That's extremely hot. So for the people that aren't watching, go over to YouTube right now. Tom, I know that we have 1 million fans and that we're constantly on the run. What is going on? Where's this new location that you're at? I mean, don't be too specific, but, tell us what's up.
We've moved, mate. We're in the bush now. And when you're in the bush, sometimes you need to have a light in a dark place. And what we've got here is a little neon sign. Hoopatheticals is coming. It's coming up big in 2025. This is our year, and we've made the investment. This is not sponsored, mate. If there is a sponsorship, if you're looking to sponsor us neon signs, I'll take more. I will. We've got room. You need a neon sign because I've got one now. But look, we've got a few more features. I might just leave them. For see how the podcast goes. Might get them out later, but. Yep, we're in an undisclosed location in the bush, but we lighten it up. So that's what's up. 2025, let's go, baby.
Fantastic. Well, Tommy, I think that we got to jump straight into our first segment. It's the one that we always start with. So let's jump right into... Hold on, let me tee this up a little bit better. Eric Spoelstra, give me that money, because I'm going to need a heat check. There we go. With the light effects as well. If you're watching the video, don't watch the animation that we've spent hours on. Watch Tommy's light effects. Now, Tom, also, before we actually get into a heat check, can I get an actual heat check from your light in the background? Yep. Can you give us 100% and give us an actual thermal heat check of what you're experiencing?
Yep. Here we go. Bang. That's 100%.
I'm getting tanned through the screen, mate.
Mate, I don't know if you can see how red I am, but I've applied some SPF 50 plus here, dude, because it is sizzling in here. And I tell you what, we have to put a warning on this episode, mate. If you have epilepsy or any kind of related, please go back to audio. We often say go to visual, go back to audio, because this is sizzling, mate. I'm going to have to, I can't turn it off. What's going on? Hold on. All right,
it's gotten so hot, it's melted the internal battery system, and it's just going to be stuck at 100%.
Just so you know, that's 50%, and we can rip it up to 100 where we are sizzling here, but we'll keep it at just 10%. And we'll just, that's just for the new, I'll do that on the visuals, I think, just to signal a new visual. But yeah, mate, this is what's up. This is the new year. This is the new era of Hoopatheticals.
Well, that's it. And I think what a better way to kick us off than with heat check, and a literal heat check there, Tommy. Now, for people that don't know, heat check, we're going to check our temperatures on a couple of topics around the NBA and give us an official thermal recognition here. So, Tommy, do you want to kick us off with what's something that you want to get a heat check on? And I'll pull out the thermal gun here.
I wanted to heat check the OKC. I know we're going to get into the kind of NBA Cup in a second, but just as a special sort of heat check on the OKC, mate, I was flabbergasted that people were saying the OKC they're on a 10-game win streak at the moment, which is fair. But prior to even like straight after the NBA Cup and prior to, people were still saying they're on a win streak, but they lost a game of basketball. And I know that game did not count towards official record keeping. It wasn't on my fantasy. I get it. But the OKC lost, and they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. They lost to the Deer. So, just for all the homies in the Deer District who are following along, playing along at home, OKC, they are hot at the moment. I give them a strong sort of 80 degrees. I'm not giving them a boiling, though. Even though they're on a 10-game win streak, they're top of the West, I'm not giving them a boiling because I think Giannis Antetokounmpo had something to say about that. So, yeah,
I agree. You know what, Tommy? I like this. I think if I'm checking my thermal gun, it's saying it's a little bit more like a 72 degrees. because
Oh, really?
I don't know if people watch the NBA Cup, but they got absolutely smashed, and it was
Dismantled.
where it was a bit like, I like to think the NBA sometimes works in a bit of a rock paper scissors kind of way. Like, one team will be strong against another team, and another team that would be weak against the first team will be strong against the second team. You know, so you kind of get that rock paper scissors where, depending on the matchup, you might get lucky. And I think that the Bucks papered the OKC's rock by just having, you know, because OKC, I think, is everybody is switchable, and I think the Bucks are like, we just have tall people sometimes. Sometimes our people are just really tall, and when everybody's switchable, it kind of leaves that open. So we ended up like, this is a team that may get destroyed by, you know, a Tyrese Maxey, who we, you know, may struggle to guard. But yeah, when it comes to teams that are all small, it looks like the Bucks may have a little heat check of themselves.
Yeah, here's the thing, mate. Like, I want to actually give some flowers to a one Glenn Rivers, because I actually think that he outcoached the OKC. I think that was what it was. His rotations were pretty good. Big Ajax and Derry Bird minutes. AJ Cream, as some would call him. And honestly, they have some pretty big wings, and that has like been perennially our defensive issue. And he managed to like coach around it. So I don't know, man. Like, this was a really interesting game, and one that makes me think, you know what? I'm confident going into the rest. Like, we've had a couple of bumps since then in the road, but I'm confident going into the postseason, man. Like, and I know we're getting into it. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here, but we got the big three back. Cash is back. Cash is looking clean as well, by the way. I'm pretty warm on the Bucks. I don't heat check. I mean, we're heating up. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, tell me. Speaking of the Bucks and OKC, can I get your thermometer reading on just the NBA Cup in general?
It's definitely heated up a little bit since last year. Last year was a tepid, like, maybe a tap water, like on a hot day, maybe like a 20 degrees, like a room temperature. I feel like we're cutting a solid C here. A solid, like, I could probably have a shower in this water, maybe like 40 degrees, 45 degrees. Like, it's not quite like hot, but it's warm enough. I think that they have, like, they refed it like it was a playoffs game. They let them play a bit more defense, which gave it a bit more intensity. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the money, but the players definitely took it more seriously. Like, I get the sense that it hasn't been clowned as much as it was when the Lakers won it last year. Like, everyone was clowning that. No one was taking it seriously. But I heard I can't remember who it was. It might have even been Chuck, say that, like, the Pacers really took the momentum of their performance in the Cup last year into the postseason, into the rest of the regular season. And I wonder if the Bucks will do the same. And even if OKC will do the same. So I think they've made it a bit better. Give it another couple of seasons, like a couple more iterations of it, a few more, and we'll get into this, like, first team. What can the Bucks? Not the Bucks. Sorry. What can the NBA change? This is something that I think could actually be genuinely a little bit more interesting and a bit more exciting. What's your take?
Yeah,
more than 40?
I know. I think you're about right there. Just checking my temps. I think for me, it's pretty good. The courts are, like, I think each year that's just going to be the feature of them, is the courts, obviously. The Las Vegas crowd seems a bit bad.
Didn't love that.
Don't think that's really working, so probably wouldn't do that. And I think the thing is, I think it is pretty good, because when we go back to, like, a couple years ago and you think about, like, what was going on December, November basketball, it got pretty rough. Some pretty dark days there, where you'd be watching you'd be looking at a slate of, like, a Pistons at Hawks and a Hornets at Rockets, and you could be like, I could be watching 11 players a team who I've never heard of, you know? I think that now we're actually at a point where, like, these games are at least watchable. So for that reason, I give them it's maybe a little hotter. Maybe I'll give it 45 degrees there.
Yeah, they've got to make they've got to somehow make the final mean more. And I don't think that the solution is it doesn't count to the regular season. It has to count for something. Like, not just money. It has to, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if there's like a home court advantage or if you get something like, I don't know what it is, but they need to sort that out because, yeah, people just won't take it as seriously as they want it to. So,
I mean, why don't they just make it like, you know, if you make it to the semifinals, nothing. If you lose in the final, you get 2 extra wins, and if you win the final, you get 3 extra wins. I mean, that's just 3 games you can take off later in the season if you want. You know, there's a lot you can do with that, I feel like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
Anyway, Tommy, you got another heat check for me, mate?
Hold on.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just on the back of that, actually, just on the OKC, I don't think they'll make it because they lost this game. Sorry, just to rewind a little bit. The way they lost this game makes me think they won't make it out of the West. Yep. I saw you tee up that, and quite rightly, I'd say.
The fire take there, Tommy.
I got a little hot take here for you, mate. They're not going to make it out of the West. They'll struggle to make the conference finals. Like, I think they'll make second round, and they should, but they're not, you know, they're kind of the opposite of the Bucks. You know what? They're the Bucks like 4 or 5 years ago. Great regular season. Don't know if they have like that playoff experience. Like this game showed to me that the Bucks really do have that playoff, like, not like we can turn it on, but they have that playoff bone where it's like, oh no, we know when the game slows down, we can go to these plays. We've got that experience. We're not going to lose our minds over a little 10-0 run. And I'm a bit cold on OKC. I'm not drinking the OKC Kool-Aid right now. I'm not drinking that. So I'm going cold on them, mate.
Wow. That is a hot take, Tommy. The take, I think, is hotter than the OKC. By those logics. Well, I just had one more here, Tommy, because I think we owe this man an apology. Potentially.
Oh.
I just wanted to get your heat check on Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, look, I was cold on him for a while, I'll be honest. But especially that game against the Pacers yesterday, he was hitting some cash threes from the corner. And I love him off the bench. I actually love him in what should be Bobby Portis's role, which is off the bench, spark, 20 minutes, high energy, couple of timely shots, get back on the pine. That's where I don't like him starting. I don't like him putting up more than really 8 shots, 10 shots, absolute maximum a game. I love him taking 8 shots and maybe 4 of those being threes. So his defense hasn't been trash. It hasn't been that bad. So I'm pretty warm on Gary Trent at the moment. What about you?
I think for me, I do want to issue an apology. He was horrible at the start of the year. We called him out. He must have listened.
We did.
He's improved. The only thing is, though, he still hasn't really improved his floater, which is short every single time. The shot's there, mate, because you're going to miss it.
Yeah, the shot's there because you're going to miss it. His mid-range pull-up game has been kind of clean, though. That through the legs, I don't hate it. And because this is the thing, sometimes the Bucks are really stagnant on offense, and it just, man, do you know? All right, I'm sorry, I'm firing up. You got me heated. Delon Wright, sit down, son, and listen to this. If you're in the key and no one's guarding you, look at the basket and put up the floater. The amount of times I've seen this man kick it out when he's literally inside the free throw line. Like, we're talking in the paint, and he has just a clear look at the rim, and he just turns around and passes it out for a 3. Nah, bro. Get the easy bunny. Like, everyone is taking that shot except for you. I'm cold on Dylan Wright, man. I didn't even have him on my notes, but I'm just you set me off. I'm ice cold on this guy. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'd almost rather see Pat Connaughton get minutes. Almost. I'm really close to. I'm this close, man. My fingers are really close.
If he makes one more DeLon wrong move, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, that's it, man. So, Gary Trent. Sorry, this was my point before I got sidetracked. The thing I have liked about Gary Trent is that he can create his own shot, whereas there's a couple of people on the Bucks who just take poor shots or they just get frozen. Ajax sometimes gets frozen and won't take that floater in the paint. Brook Lopez will post someone up and then turn and fade like he's a prime Kobe. That's not going in, mate. Pump fake and step through or something, or hook shot. And there's just a few people who can't create their own shot. So I'd like to see more Derry Bird run off the 3-point line, mid-2000s, deep 2 pull-up. I'd like to see more of that. There's just a bit more creativity. I feel like not enough people they're too nervous. Unless their name ends in Antetokounmpo or ends in Lillard or Middleton, people are kind of creating their own shot. And I don't love that for the Bucks. So, sorry, that was a bit of a diversion. Dylan Wright my mind went.
He's not rubbing you in the DeLon right ways, mate, and I understand it.
Do you feel the same way? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Or have you noticed the same thing?
I don't really. I mean, where are you at with him versus Ryan Rollins, who's getting the start a little bit?
I like Ryan Rollins.
Me too.
I'm into him.
Just give him the minutes.
Give him all those minutes. I like Ryan Rollins being the ball handler too.
Yeah.
Because it's given him confidence, and I like him with a bit of cockiness. I like that all of our young guys are confident. And they kind of have the skills to back it up. So, Ryan Rollins screams to me. I'm getting Brogdon flashbacks. He won't not rookie of the year energy, but just a young person that has talent. Please don't trade him away for a beat up who did we get?
John Horst is looking at retired Pau Gasol right now, and he's like, "How do we get this guy on the team for our young trade assets?"
He's looking at Ariza or something. Yeah. He's been out of the league and going, "I reckon I could bring him in."
He's like, "I know JJ Redick is currently coaching the Lakers, but how do we get him in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey before the end of the season?"
Seriously, man. Ryan Rollins, I reckon we can get him on a cheeky deal, and he would actually develop nicely. Because we talk a lot about AJ Green and Ajax here, but Ryan Rollins he deserves a little bit more props on this podcast. So I'm giving it to him.
All right, beautiful. We've done a temp check. It's time for us to go over to the stock exchange quickly here, Tommy.
All right.
So this is our segment, Bank Shot.
Oof.
Alrighty. This is Bank Shot, and again, please check out the video for the lighting effects on Tom Nixon's background there. So, Tommy, Bank Shot is where we look at the stock exchange of things in the NBA, and we talk about whether we're buying or selling stocks.
Yep.
So, we're giving our insights on the market. I might kick us off this time. Tommy, I'm buying a lot of stocks here in the Hawks being the 7th seed and potentially actually good this year.
Oh.
How's that? So I'm going to tell you why. 2 words. Dyson Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
I know that you're thinking, when you hear the Hawks, you're thinking Trae Young. Forget that.
Yeah.
There's another star on this team.
Yep. Franchise player, I reckon.
That's it. And this man does not let the ball come across half court.
Nah.
That's all he does. He's going to pick that up. The vacuum cleaner, the Great Barrier Thief himself. I think that the Hawks have a chance here because everyone is literally a role player except for Trae Young. It creates this is the ultimate team that Trae Young will ever have. This is his James Harden 2018 Rockets. I am just saying, I'm buying into Trae Young just turning into his most Super Saiyan form we're ever going to see this season. And so whatever that is, pair that with Dyson Daniels, I think we've got a pretty decent team to just have a crack at any random team in the playoffs.
Yeah, I have two comments. One, if we're not a Bucks Appreciation Society podcast, we're at a fellow countryman appreciation podcast. And Dyson Daniels has been getting an appropriate amount of love, I would say, on this podcast. I think he may be built for a playoffs lockdown. I'm getting big Delhi energy from him. I can see him putting the clamps on a Tyrese Maxey. Play in, because obviously 76ers are cheeks, but I can see them like sneaking into a play-in position, and Daniels just puts the absolutely clamps down in jail. Tyrese Maxey, I can see a 1-for-8 game incoming, and 0 for 4 from 3, and just Dyson Daniels just hounding the man. Has to keep passing it out to, I don't even know who's on that team.
PG.
Who cares? PG, whatever. Embiid. We're getting to there later. I'm going to mention them. But I'm making a note to not know anyone on that team other than those three people, just out of disrespect. Putting disrespect on their name. But I reckon Dyson Daniels can just do some damage in the East. And you know what? I wouldn't hate to see him on the Bucks. I'm just saying it. It's optimistic and ambitious, but I was saying it and hope it happens. Saying it in faith.
All right, Tommy, what's your insights on the market? What are you looking at?
Oh yeah, man. Quite as usual. I've got a couple of fire sales here. I'm selling a lot of stocks in the Heat. And specifically selling stocks in Tyler Hero's fighting abilities. I don't know if you saw the other day, this man is averaging about 1.5 fisticuffs per match, and he's averaging about 1 suspension every 6 months. And they're getting in fights more than they're winning games, the Miami Heat. And I don't know if you've seen, man, but they are they're really trying hard to suck. And, between Jimmy Butler just being weirdly on the trading block, but not on the trading block, Hero with a really bad buzz cut and not scoring many points, I'm selling stocks in the Heat, man. They're just like, when you're getting in fights with, who was the team? Was it the Rockets? Who was it?
Yeah, so I actually can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
What are you doing? Public service announcement. You guys are not good enough, and the Heat are just underperforming. So I'm selling stocks in the Heat. I know everyone's like, "Oh, playoffs, wouldn't want to face them." Rah. I would want to. I would want to face them. I'd love to see them in the first round. I'd love to see them and sweep them. It's a lot of biscuit.
So, you know how they say if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen? You're getting out of the kitchen. You can't handle them. You're done with them.
I'm so done with them, mate. I'm well and truly. I pieced out of the kitchen weeks ago. Traded Hero off my fantasy team, so that's really where I'm at. So,
all right, I've got one more investment tip for people.
Yeah, right.
There's a few shares of this going at the moment. It's trending, but I definitely tell people to get on it right now. And that is Wemby and the Spurs making the NBA, conference quarterfinals. I mean, make it the second round. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing it happen. I know. Here's the pathway. Let me draw it out for you. Okay. So where are they right now? San Antonio Spurs. Currently in the ninth seed.
No.
They're in the ninth seed. They're
a game
and a half behind 7. 2 games behind 6. So they're sort of hanging in there. Here's what happens, okay?
Go on.
There's a lot of weird players on the Spurs. There's like a Harrison Barnes. And then there's a bunch of people who you kind of have sort of seen. There's a trade waiting to happen there. And then you will have Chris Paul, who we've seen him with OKC, take a team of randoms to the playoffs. We've now got Wemby, who is looking sort of like a young Giannis in some ways, but except he can hit every 3 that he's shooting for some reason.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a trade there. Like, I can see a Harrison Barnes and like one of their young players for someone who's just a decent role player, like not quite Norman Powell, but you're kind of floating in that territory. Someone who what Tobias Harris wishes he was. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Jeez. Catching strays. And not wrong either. Really not wrong.
I see it happening. And so I think now's the time to buy before they make the trade, before the trade deadline. I can see it happening. Like, unless there's an injury, they're just going to get more and more annoying to play, in my opinion. So, that's my investment tip. Get in early.
Yeah, I wonder if like OKC would offload a little bit of cap space, like a Lou Dort or something. Do you know what I mean? But as soon as I say that, I think that feels like an own goal because the OKC would probably face them in the first round or something. But I don't know if they care about that. Maybe I'd buy those stocks.
Do they dare bite on the Zach LaVine? Do you know what I mean? That's
the poison chalice.
Yeah, exactly. It's because you got Chris Paul, so you're feeling not too nervous about him being like the worst thing on the court, but it's got to be sitting there for them. I'm sure they have the assets to make it happen. They just must be looking at it and thinking, do we?
I don't know, man. I don't like Zach LaVine, so they can do that if they want.
Me either. Go for it.
I got another fire sale, mate. And this is a sorry team. It's depression.com. And first, if you look up depression in the NBA dictionary, you're going to see a picture of the Pelicans. I don't know if you know where they are in the West, man, but they are vying for worst record next to the Wizards in the whole league. Like, they're going toe-to-toe with the Wizards. The reason that I'm selling all my Pelican stock is because they're like the most disappointing team. They were good, and they were up and coming, and they were exciting. They had CJ McCollum. They had Brandon Ingram. They had Zion, obviously. And it's like, oh, hold on. They have Jose Alvarado. This is an exciting young team. So, huge ceiling. What's going to happen? Zion didn't lose weight, I guess. I don't know. CJ McCollum just isn't that good anymore. Brandon Ingram's okay. And, Jose Alvarado, I guess, can only do so many steals. I don't know what to tell you, man. Pelicans, they suck ass. And I'm selling their stocks. And the thing is, I actually liked watching them when they were good. And I wanted them to be good as well. Kind of like the Kings. They're very similar to the Kings, but the Kings haven't sucked quite as hard because Sabonis is having the best season of his career. So yeah, I don't know what's up with the Pelicans. Why am I selling all my stocks? And are you also selling your Pelican stocks?
Yeah, I'll tell you why you're selling the stocks. It's for a couple of reasons. First of all, their logo is a pelican. I mean, that's
what
just,
happens.
How is that winning an NBA championship?
It's not.
I know that mascots have nothing to do with it, but
it does.
Are you literally seeing 2027 NBA champions, the Pelicans?
You don't hear their phrase, fear the pelican.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen, does it? You fear the deer, you don't fear the pelican.
You look like a pelican, and that's an insult. And so, you know what else it is, though? They play in the Smoothie King Center. So first of all, it's the Pelicans. Oh. They're playing in the Smoothie King Center. What is this, a Nickelodeon show? Then the other thing that I've got to ask is, why is the Smoothie King Center so dark? Let's put on some lights. Let's get rid of the energy-saving bulbs, and let's get some real light bulbs into the Smoothie King Center. Let's get a new sponsor, and let's move from New Orleans because it's not working.
If I'm not shaving a few years off the lifespan of this earth just to light up that center, then I'm not interested. Okay,
we need a few Hoopatheticals signs on 100.
Absolutely, man. I want some fossil fuels burnt. Get rid of the solar crap. I want some real crude oil. You know what I mean? Just as an aside, the fact that you know that it's Smoothie King Center, that has got to be an obscure. So I can't name many basketball stadiums, like home stadiums. Smoothie King Center is not one I'm getting. I'm not getting that in the test. I'm not.
I'm never forgetting it, man. Once I heard it, I'm like, that is. You know what it is? It's like when Townsville Stadium. Do you remember what it was called? I'll tell you, mate. 1-800-SMILE Stadium. I'm like, what's going on here? I think there has to be some. I understand that they were the top bidder, but there has to be some respect.
Oh,
put on the name of the stadium you're performing in.
That's an L. That's an L. That's you can't. That's the Cowboys, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that the? You can't be the Cowboys, who are like cool out west, dangerous, a little unhinged. You can't do it. You can't do it. Smoothie King Center. I won't forget it now. I'm selling my stocks, man. I don't know what they're gonna do about Zion. I've sold all my stocks on Zion. I was big on him like maybe a season or two ago. I was like, nah, this is it. He's gonna get serious. Zion is the new Ben Simmons off-season videos showing what kind of form he's in, but still being crap and doing the same thing every season. You heard it here first. Book it in. Book it in.
At the All-Star break, we need to have the battle of the worst contract, and it's everybody who's making a lot of money and not playing any minutes, and they all play each other, and the person who loses every game, it's like a knockout elimination, except when you win, you get knocked out, so you're no longer eligible.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, and the person who's dead last, I'd love to see a Zion versus Ben Simmons, whose body can physically handle 13 minutes of gameplay. That's what I want to see. 13
minutes of one-on-one, first to 7, win by 2. First to 5. First team, best off-season videos that never deliver. I've got Ben Simmons at point guard. I don't know what he plays now. And I've got Zion at... Is he center or power forward? Doesn't matter. I've got those two. They just... Oh, man.
Yeah. I think you could probably have Carmelo Anthony at small forward. I know he's no longer in the league, but he used to love getting up he was in the twilight of his career, loved an off-season video of him playing rec basketball.
It was always pickup, like LA Fitness pickup games, and he's absolutely splashing them. Same jab step. It's like, bro, we know you do the jab step. We get it. But he just loved it. Far out. Is that all right? Is that our bank shot, mate?
I think that's it, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've sold every stock we own. All right, let's go to shots fired, Tommy.
Oh, it got worse. Far out.
Okay. Nobody look at your screen. It's gonna be bad for you. Tom's lighting effects are getting less controllable by the attempt. So, Tommy, we're about to do shots fired. This is our segment where we take a first team all something.
Yep.
And usually it's a team we're going to roast. And we just sort of give that to our team. You've heard of first team all defense. You've heard of first team all NBA. Well, this week we're talking about first team all things the NBA needs to change. Been a lot of talk about this, Tommy. What's the NBA getting wrong? Ratings are down. So it's time for us to pull out the gun and put some of these ideas to bed for a long good night. So what do you got at starting point guard for us?
Yeah, man, this feels honestly like the lowest hanging fruit, easiest dub for the NBA to fix. It's long timeouts and starting games late, but long timeouts. I feel like, I don't know what's longer, Giannis's free throw routine or a timeout. I'm not sure because they just go for so long. I have to honestly, man, I skipped. For so many times, I'm just like 3-minute skips. And even then, the time it takes them to get back on the court, walk around, high-five someone in the front row. There's so much like faffing around. I'm like, just play basketball. Can we just play some basketball? I don't do this. When I go and shoot hoops, I just go and play basketball. Long timeouts. Starting point guard. Thank you.
You know what, Tommy? I'm actually going to build off this. And I think this is just the broader point here, which is that what you're talking about is just how long a game of NBA basketball ends up taking.
Dude.
I've got the stats for you right here, okay?
Please.
So a 2-hour, the broadcast is about 2 hours 30, okay? That's usually what you're sort of setting aside for a basketball game. At least. No, that's no overtime, nothing.
Yep.
We're talking about 48 minutes of actual basketball, okay? So when we start doing the maths on that, we're looking at 150 minutes of broadcast and we're looking at 48 minutes of basketball. That is less than a third of the broadcast is actual playing basketball. So I just think that in a broad sense is what you're talking about. The timeouts are in there. Well, now, you know what? It's just going to bring in my second one, and this is going to bring in a redacted as well.
Sorry,
but
just as
as a
very quickly, just as further evidence to this, if you watch a game on League Pass after the fact, and they cut out they cut out like the timeouts, and they cut out the half time, the video length is still an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, and 48 minutes is basketball time. So essentially, there's 1 hour of fluff. Even when you cut out the timeouts, man. Like, seriously, like, there's like 8 minutes at the start of lineups and whatever, and usually they have a few seconds either side of timeouts. But I don't know where the other hour goes. Like, it's like free throws, it's looking at coaches' challenges, like an hour, and that's like that's not even condensed game, like all possessions only. That's like they just cut out a lot of stuff and edit it. So yeah, sorry. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so that's one. And this brings me to my next point, actually.
Yeah.
Which is the block charge and the review.
Oh.
Okay? And I'm actually going to take this to a little bit of a redacted territory, okay?
Fair enough.
Alrighty, this is Redacted. Redacted's our segment where we look at an NBA conspiracy theory. Tommy, you're going to have to tell me if you're putting the tinfoil hat on or off.
Okay.
Some of their calls, when they go to the review of the block charge, are truly mind-bending. What ends up being the final call. Okay? The other day, we had a review. This was not a block charge, but the review was successful because the foul occurred on a different player. Like a different player caused the foul on the same team. The review was successful. What is happening in the NBA? Okay?
Yeah.
Let me just fix the block charge thing in 20 seconds, by the way.
Yeah.
This is how it should be done every game. Because at the moment, there's games where I've seen literally 8 minutes of review footage before we've come to a final conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm sitting there going, I don't think anyone cares. I think at this point we all are okay with whatever you guys decide is the case. It's that close. You just make a call. But here's what it should be. We've got AI taking over the planet right now. Can each basket just have like 3 cameras that are dedicated to block charge? They're hanging behind, the stanchion or something. They're hidden.
Yeah.
They're AI cameras. Okay, if any of these things are not true, then it is a block. Okay, otherwise it's charge. So if the person is standing still, if there is a frame where they are still before they're hit, okay,
frame.
If there's just one frame, if they were standing still before they were hit, they're getting hit in the chest. It's a charge. Anything else, it's a block. Let's make this 20 seconds, people. That's it. Okay, and it should be just go ahead.
I'll admit, and we're not biased here. We are a little bit. Giannis really, he gets a lot of favourable calls in this regard. I've seen him just clean up innocent basketball players straight out of the G League and just do damage to them and still get the free throws. I guess they give it to him because they know he's going to miss. But even AJ Green puts his body on the line. Man's broken his nose almost as many times as Ilyasova. I've seen, it's just reviews in general. It's not even the block and charge. I've seen times where there's been a foul called, they review it, and they win the review, so they keep their timeout, and they win the review, they keep their review ability, but they notice another foul or something else that only they noticed in the replay. And so the team that won the review still loses possession and the other team is shooting free throws for whatever reason. So they actually don't win. They won. It's like they won in spirit and they win like bragging right. You know what I mean? Like the honorable win. Good for you. You won the spirit of basketball, but you lost possession and you lost the free throws or whatever it is. The amount of times I've seen that, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Like gut check. You know what I mean? Like this doesn't... Pub check, it doesn't feel right. So yeah, but I agree with everything you said.
Yeah. All right, what else you got? Who else is in the starting lineup here, Tommy?
I got a few here, man. We might have to get to the bench at some stage.
Yeah.
So is this starting forward?
This will be small forward here.
Small forward. Technicals whenever someone literally looks at someone after a dunk. Like the amount of times I've seen a dunk, dudes are hyped and they just look at someone teed up. You can't be doing that. I just think like I get that they're harsh on the fights. That makes sense. But when there's like a bit of argy-bargy, you know what I mean? And just a bit of like people getting G'd up, I think that's fine. Also, when they tech people for like catching the ball, like basketball, like game interference, that's a weak tech. Like, it dilutes the tech, and so people don't care about it as much. So I would kind of like to see that change, because I actually think the NBA is better when there's a little bit more, when they allow, like, let's be honest, like masculinity and like testosterone to kind of get people hyped. You know what I mean? Everyone loves a Giannis dunk. Everyone loves it more when he's G'd up. When he's talking to Siakam against the Pacers yesterday and chatting, that's what people want to see. Now, he didn't get teed up for that, in fairness. But, like, you could tell that the refs were like, bump chests with him, I dare you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'd like to see that at small forward.
Yeah, you know what? And just with that, what are we trying to create by having these athletes dunk on someone and then walk back like they've just submitted, like a basic proposal to their boss or something?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going for? It's an entertaining product. That's what it's supposed to be. What's more entertaining than someone getting dunked on and then getting mean mugged?
Seriously, dude, that's what we're there for. I
want
like
to
them
see
more
TJ.
than 3.
Yeah, I want to see TJ McConnell try and get a charge, get dunked on by Giannis, and get thrown into the first stand, and then Giannis point at him. That's what I want to see.
Oh, please. Your turn, mate.
Anyway,
I've got so many.
Anyway. You might have... Okay. This is one that I think we just have to get rid of. This is a technical one. They can fix this in the offseason, but it happens too much, and it makes like the NBA look like it's happening in someone's backyard. And that is when the ball gets stuck behind the backboard up at the top part, and they're getting a broom out to pull it out. What is this? This is a multi-billion-dollar product, and someone's pulling out a mop to get the ball down. What's going on? Like, how do you not build it so that doesn't happen?
There's medium-sized economies that are smaller than the NBA franchise, in general, and its subsidiaries. And we just get a broom out from the back and get some poor dude to...
Robin Lopez is always getting wheeled out. No matter what team he's playing on, somehow he's at every stadium with the broom, getting the ball down. This is an easy fix, but that's at power forward. We just need to stop looking so amateur with the ball getting trapped behind the backboard. It's embarrassing.
Trash. All right. At center, I've got load management in general and players just not playing full seasons and complaining about how hard their lives are. I'm not going to bang on about this for too long. You get paid millions of dollars to literally play basketball. I look forward to every Saturday when I can play for like 3 hours of basketball. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know they've been doing a little bit of stuff with load management, and so there's actually... This is why I think that they should work on it more, because there is scope and precedent. But, like, why are people... It's not that many games. You also get, like, you get the summer off. You're not even working all year. Fix it.
Load management. Yeah, you're not a fan. Tommy, did you have one more for us off the bench, sixth man for us?
Oh,
you've got a couple there.
I've got a few, but I'll try and pick one for you.
Give us rapid fire, Tommy. Give it to us.
Oh,
I want to hear them. Let's hear them.
Yeah, rapid fire. Players complaining about not getting calls. It always just sucks. Takes me out of the vibe of the game. I hate it. It's so boring. Connected to that, they need to ref the defense a bit better. We've skewed too much to an offensive game. We need to allow the Dyson Daniels to lock people up.
Just quickly on that one, just to build off that, they need to get rid of the pump fake. The guy jumps, then you just jump into the guy. Let's just get rid of that. If that happens, it should be an offensive foul.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're getting better with that, but they still need to do more. The NBA is too much in bed with betting agencies and with a kind of suspicious past of gambling that the NBA has. Feels like it's going to be an own goal one day. So they need to chill on the sports bet and the DraftKings, etc., etc.
The ultimate version of that. Yeah, I was just going to say the ultimate version of that is when the refs are going to be sponsored by like BetFast 365 or something. That's when it will have come full circle. But anyway,
just on principle, we'll never be sponsored by a betting agency. Finally, this is low-hanging fruit, but my final one, the All-Star Game. And basically anything that's not the three-point contest. The three-point contest is still kind of cool. I like that. Dunk contest, kind of cool, not as hype as before. But in general, the All-Star Game needs to change to like a pick-up 3-on-3, a 1-on-1 maybe, something like that, because it's just abysmal. We say it every year, and every year they do nothing to change it. I don't know why. Like, Adam Silver has implemented literally a new NBA Cup, but won't change the All-Star Game. Riddle me that, big boy.
Well, yeah. Look, I mean, did you see they actually have changed the All-Star Game this year?
What they do?
So this is a weird one. People are not sure what they're thinking. So they're doing three teams. They're doing three teams, and they're being decided by, I think, Ernie, Chuck, and Shaq, or something. And then there's the winner. This already sounds like a bad idea. This just sounds like this. Yeah, not kidding. One of them's getting left out, which is funny, and they're playing a sort of like semi-final style matchup against the winner of the Rising Stars Challenge. And so I think it's like a 1st to 40 game. And then the winner of so the Rising Stars plays one of the teams, one of the other teams plays the other team, and then the winner of those two games plays each other in the All-Star Game. It's more confusing than I could... the fact that I actually understand what's going on is truly amazing, because it didn't make any sense the first 9 times I read what was going on.
Yeah, I don't think you poorly explained that. I just think it's a confusing idea. And if there's one thing the NBA doesn't need, it's confusing ideas, because let's be honest, the whole play-in tournament every year has to be re-explained to me. Like, I'm getting there. I'm like, what are we, 4 years in? I'm starting to get it, but it's just a little bit too confusing. But I like that they're trying something. Big ups for that.
You are right, though. The NBA Cup every year, they bring in someone that you've kind of heard of. Like it'll be like Questlove, and it'll be like, here's the NBA Cup. There's a pool stage, and that will occur during the regular season, but you won't know exactly when. And like they're trying to explain it, and there's like 19 bits of information you have to understand how the NBA Cup fully functions and what's going on. And it is truly, they've tried to explain it every year, and every year I feel more lost.
We have divisions. Like, I know they don't really use them anymore, but surely they could just co-opt that. And also, again, when like people like Ernie, Shaq, and Chuck and Kenny are struggling to understand it, like poor Ernie, God bless him, he tries to explain it to the fellas every year, and every year they're like, this is way too hard basket, mate. Anyway.
All right. Well, I think let's jump into worst fake. We'll move through these last ones pretty quickly, Tom. We've got 3 segments left, but let's just run through them here. So let's jump into worst fake. Everybody's heard of first take. Let's jump into worst fake.
Bugger!
Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to Worst Fake, our segment where we just blatantly almost rip off First Take. Now, like First Take, you and I are going to be having extremely emotional opinions about basketball topics. But unlike First Take, we don't know these segments before we're about to perform them. We're going to give each other the topic live on air. And we have to defend that topic like a First Take guest. So, Tommy, do you want to kick us off? Do you want to give me the topic first? And then I'll give you yours straight after.
Yeah, good luck with this one, mate.
Thank you.
So this relates... I'm calling this player the new Paul George. And by that I mean a franchise player who's also a journeyman. And just everyone thinks is all that, but isn't. And kind of acts like he's the franchise player, even though he's been to like 4 franchises. This person isn't that yet, but they are the new Paul George. They're going to be that. Your worst fake is that the 76ers are looking to offload Embiid, and Embiid is going to be the new Paul George. He's going to go to another team, and he's going to be their franchise player, but then he's going to do it like 2 other times. He's going to go to a Clippers. He's going to go to a 76ers, so to speak, or Pacers, whatever. They're trying to offload Embiid. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? Go for it.
All right. So Embiid becoming a journeyman is definitely the best idea for his career, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it seems like he's overstayed his welcome with Philly. I just think that it's an amicable divorce. I think at this point, I think they're both like, we got our MVP, we've had our disastrous playoff rounds, and I think we're good to say, shake hands and say, good work. There are a lot of teams that are running small ball right now, and if there's one thing that Joel Embiid can actually punish, it's small ball. So you're looking for this isn't exactly the team. But think of him on an OKC, okay? He can space the floor. He can bang down inside. And his job, he could be kind of his game is going to age pretty well because he can shoot. So I think that a lot of teams will pick him up, like a Paul George, talk themselves into the upside. Spacing, three-point shooter who's got a good mid-range game, can bang inside, and used to play defense. And then they'll realize what the reality of that is, which is someone that kind of complains, someone that doesn't really care anymore, and someone that, for the right TV scheduled event, will give you 30, 13, and maybe 2 blocks. And for a regular game against Detroit, is going to fall over every third play, and you're going to wonder if he's injured the entire time.
Tough.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I like that, mate. I'll tell you what, you almost convinced me on it. I was thinking OKC could be a viable. They've got Hartenstein, but he's an upgrade. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to take it, but I'm just saying, not the worst fake I've ever heard.
Yeah, because I think the thing is, he's a bit it's I almost dare this to happen. I almost dare this to happen because I think it would be bad for both teams, but I'd just love to see the sheer chaos of it, which is an Embiid for Zion trade, just to see both teams go, we need a shake up, and they both just offload the exact same thing back onto each other. It's kind of like that. But anyway, all right, Tommy, I've got to go on for you. This is one that's going to really grind your goat. So I don't know if you've checked out the West standings recently, but there's someone interesting has crawled into the 6th seed. So there's teams you'd expect to be in there: OKC, Memphis, Houston, Dallas, Denver. Sure. Who's in number 6? LA Clippers. What's going on here?
Oh,
they're above.
Far out.
They're above the Lakers, the Suns, the Spurs, the Warriors, and the T-Wolves. Why is this season James Harden and Norman Powell at the helm, and potentially Kawhi? Why is this their season for a championship?
I forgot Kawhi still played basketball, but I'm going to light this one up, mate. Here we go. James Harden's got a chip on his shoulder, and this is his redemption season, okay? He's people have left. Paul George has left. There's really no expectations on the Clippers, which is where he shines. It's kind of the same, seasons gone by in Houston, they had expectations kind of when he's playing at MVP, he's dishing, he's cashing threes. That's when he's at his best. Harden's been, it's undeniable. Harden plays modern style basketball. He's the Trae Young before Trae Young. He's the OG. And you can't say he's taking too many shots because he's career high assist. I don't know if it's career high, but it's a lot of assists. Norman Powell, perennial 6th man of the year candidate. Kawhi, when he comes back, devastating. Who is their what's his name? Their center,
Zubac.
Zubats. Bro's cooking, and he's kind of playing a perfect field goal percentage is higher than it's ever been for him because all he does is set screens and dunks, and that's great for him. So the Clippers could actually be a little bit sneaky. They could be scary. Will they exit the second round? Not sure, but James Harden. He's dangerous, man. He's dangerous. He's been to the conference finals before. Yeah, he has. Yep. So he could do it again. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't want him. They're not a good matchup. For anyone, no one wants to see them in the first round. I'll be honest. No one wants to see them in the second round because it'd be kind of like a pain in the ass where it's we can beat them, but can we? And it'll be hard, and I don't really want to do it. Do you know what I mean? They're not great matchup wise, so I like that.
I like it. Also, Tommy, you can turn that light off. It is burning my brain off. Oh, here we go. It's
sorry
worse.
About that.
No, that's all right.
I just had to light it up. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just had to light it up for that one.
You had to. You're on fire. Look, that does sound pretty right, to be honest. If we're talking about OKC being a bit of a regular season juggernaut, maybe the Clippers are kind of one of these. We've got Harden, who's done things in the playoffs sometimes. But yeah, and Kawhi as well has. So if everything lines up, it's definitely something. All right. Well, Tommy, we've got to rush through our last couple segments. We don't have that much time left, but let's go to our poem corner. That is Rhyme Out. Alrighty, welcome to Rhyme Out. This is our open mic poetry corner for NBA players, teams, and associated paraphernalia of the NBA. We'd like to call up tonight to rock the mic, Tom Nixon. Tom, do you have a poem for us?
Do. Thank you.
Oh, it's coming out. Pulling the mic out of the stand. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Getting serious.
Just require the flexibility that a stand doesn't provide. Happy New Year. What a great time to fear the deer. It's now 2025 and our big three have finally come alive. Giannis is playing like an MVP and Dame be throwing those dimes right into the key. Cash Money is also back with smooth post moves and a three that goes splat. We've got role players in the mix. Ajax and Derry Bird should have all of Pat's minutes. That wasn't as smooth as I thought it was going to be, that one, to be honest.
Just a burn on Pat Conundrum.
And I can't wait for the playoffs to get my fix, because at the end of the day, it's Bucks in 6.
Oh! Great work, Tommy. That was very inspired. Makes me feel good about the coming season, to be honest, that poem. Hopefully the Milwaukee Bucks pick that up and put that onto some sort of one of their like limited edition T-shirts or something. You know how they do those like random rounds? Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
That's a beautiful poem there, Tommy. Thank you, Tom.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
I'll step up to the mic today. This is a pretty specific one for Bucks fans. So it's also Bucks related. I hope you enjoy it. Mike is staying in the stand for this one.
That's okay.
Okay. The man we love, we all adore him. A staple of Fiserv Forum.
Wow.
His curly grey locks and wily charm. You know who to call if you break your arm. I know it may sound like I'm taking the piss of this proud sponsor of Thanalysis.
Oh no, it's
but
not.
every time I see the ad, I raise a glass and cheers. One call, that's all. Gruber Law Officers.
Cheers and officers is crazy work. Thank you, Jeremy, for that contribution.
You're welcome. For people that don't know what I'm talking about, Gruber Law Officers, the main sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks, if you go on a Bucks feed on the NBA, he's this like lawyer who has... He's kind of got a bit of a sleazy energy in a weird way, but he's also got a kind of charming energy in a weird way. And he's a lawyer, and his phrase is one call, that's all. And I've probably heard it, I'd say probably at least 800 times in my life.
Easy. He's been sponsoring the Bucks for a really long time. Like, I would say north of 4 or 5 seasons. He's been around. Does he actually sponsor Thanalysis? Tell me it ain't so.
He does. He sponsors Thanalysis.
Deary me, that's...
Oh, Tommy, I've just realised something. Could a goal of Hoopatheticals be to get Gruber from Gruber Law Officers on as a guest?
If you get that short and then tag them in it, I'm not sure Gruber Law Officers is getting much like social media traffic. So if you make this a short and then tag him in it, there's an outside chance. It could be our gateway. This could be our vehicle.
I mean, we know he knows Thanasis. That is definitely true. So here we go, mate.
What have we got left, mate?
Cody Bank.
I've got a Cody Bank. I've also got a cheeky little redacted.
Oh, yeah, give us your redacted. Hold on, let me tee you up here. Redacted. I need to see if I'm getting my my tinfoil hat out. What do you got for us, Tommy?
Yep. All right. As I'm sure everyone who listens to this podcast, all 6 million of you would know, Mike Brown, coach of the Sacramento Kings, has been fired. What are we? A third of the way into the season. I don't even know if this is a conspiracy theory. It feels like it's a gimme, honestly. But tell me De'Aaron Fox was not the one behind that firing. Like, did you everyone saw the interview, surely, of him being like, well, he's still getting paid. Do you feel bad for him? Well, he's still getting paid. Tell me he is not blame shifting. He's having an okay season, but the team is not doing great outside of him, Sabonis. That's it, to be honest. Tell me he wasn't the one who got Mike Brown fired. A man who has been in charge for who won Coach of the Year like 2 seasons ago. So, he's shifting blame. What do you reckon? You got the tinfoil hat out for that one?
Yeah, definitely. It's just such a weird firing. I mean,
yep.
I guess my question is to the Kings, what were we going for this season? All the teams that I listed before when I was talking about the Clippers are all obviously better than the Kings. What was the plan this season? What were we hoping for, a play-in win and then like an 8th seed in the playoffs to get smoked by OKC? I actually don't know what they were going for. They're just in such a midpoint, and it's also just kind of sad.
And DeRozan wasn't the answer to that midpoint.
Not
everyone
at all
in the league knows that.
Nah.
Maybe 5 years ago he would have been, but nah.
Yeah, no, it's So Mike Brown unfortunately had to cop it. He gets the Darvin, not the Darvin Ham Award, the Adrian Griffin Award for unlucky, mate. You've just you're gone.
Tough.
Yeah.
I don't know what Adrian Griffin's doing at the moment, so we should look into that. But I'm ready for Agent Cody Bank, and I'd like to give you the Agent Cody Bank first, if that's okay.
Oh, let's do it. Let me grab this one. All right, this is our segment, Agent Cody Bank. Alrighty, this is Agent Cody Bank. Beautifully lit up there, Tommy. This is Agent Cody Bank. This is our segment where we act as an agent of an NBA player or NBA-affiliated person, and we act as their agent, trying to get them the bag. We're trying to get them that Agent Cody Bank. Now, again, like Worst Fake, we don't know who we're going to be the agent of until our co-presenter presents it to us, and then we'll have 60 seconds to give our delivery of why this person deserves a max contract. All right, so what do you got for us today, Tommy? Who am I becoming the agent for?
Directly related to our redacted, mate. I am giving you the Agent Cody Bank for the poor one, Mike Brown. This poor man. Please get him the bag, even though he's still getting paid. He requires another bag.
Okay, so Mike Brown, if I'm him, I'm feeling really happy. Okay?
Okay.
I'll tell you why. First of all, this team's not going anywhere. What's this adding to your coaching record? Whatever. Right? Just punt that down the road. You're getting paid. But let's think about where we were this time last year. Okay? And we're having Adrian Griffin get fired.
Yep.
And you know what it would have been a really good time to be? As a former head coach who was sitting on the benches waiting to get hired, a la one Glenn Doc Rivers. There is a team that is going to have some sort of internal implosion soon.
Yes.
And there is a coach of the year sitting on the bench of no team waiting to get hired. So Mike Brown, you know what? Chill out. And just wait for the Atlanta Hawks to call you up. In about 6 months, you got yourself a job.
I don't know if you noticed, mate. I heard the other day the Warriors were having a players-only meeting. Steve Kerr, you're going to the curb. Mike Brown could get the call up. I'm just saying.
That's it. Then it's Browntown, mate. Population him.
Oof. Oof. That stung. Like a Browntown that I... Anyway.
Alrighty, mate. All right, here we go. So, for your Agent Cody Bank, I'm actually going off-piece a little bit. I'm going a player who, every time I see him on social media, it's to roast him. I don't think I've seen an actual highlight from this player in a while.
Tough.
His trade value, I don't think, could be lower because I don't exactly know what he does, and I don't think he takes basketball seriously.
Okay.
But I would love for you to get this man the bank. It's a man who we haven't heard of in a while. He's a man who is on probably the worst team on the NBA, and I would like for you to become the agent of our friend, one Kyle Kuzma.
Oh, the Kuz. Oh, mate. Look, if you're looking for someone who's going to put up 4 for 20 on a nightly basis and shoot 6 free throws, then I've got the man for you. This guy, he will sink your funds. He will sink team morale. He won't sink shots. But I tell you what, he going to bring swag and he's going to bring a little bit of hype. And let's be real these days. Everything's marketing. Everything is like, how well can you sell it? How cool does it look? It doesn't matter what's inside the bag. It matters on the outside. Judge your book by its cover. And I'm judging the Kuzma cover as sick. He just looks sick. He kind of, if you're looking for someone who's going to show up to a game in a crazy outfit, I got the man for you. Doesn't matter what he does on the court, inside the bag, so to speak. It matters how he shows up. What car does he drive? What's on his Instagram? Who's he DMing? What is TMZ saying about him? That's what matters. That's what gets bums on seats. Come on.
Wow. You've gone for the LaMelo Ball approach there of
yes.
How can he be our marketing budget?
It's bums on seats, man. That's what. Let's be honest. It's like, it's funny as actually a low key serious note. I heard someone talking. I think it was today. They were saying like the thing about LeBron and Steph and KD is they made millions for the NBA. Like, because people just want to see them play. People just want to see Steph cash threes. People want to see KD just like Slim Reaper it. People want to see LeBron be the king. That's where the value is for the NBA for them. And like at some level, this it's entertainment, and people want to see entertaining things. They don't want to see like some dude play good defense. They want to see some dude show up in a ridiculous outfit, and then street ball a la LaMelo Ball. So it's real, man.
I also love that you said that he would shoot 4 for 20, which, judging by how blazed he does seem to be, I think was a very apt shot chart for him there. Anyway, Tommy, well, that's been our sort of a bit of a mega episode. We've given people a little bit more than they've usually asked for here. Did you want to leave our audience with anything?
Probably just a fin.
Finn.